Welcome back, my second grade writers. Today we're going to be looking at another craft move that Jane Yolen uses to make her writing super powerful. But let's do a quick recap. Remember, we've been looking a lot at the first page in Owl Moon and why it's so powerful because it makes us feel like we are actually there. And she does this by showing and telling what the character sees and hears in that moment. But remember, we also listed off some of the other feelings or senses that you can have in your first page to make yours super powerful, like smell, taste, and what they actually felt. We also saw that she used an awesome comparison on that first page, too, and I'll show it to you one more time. And we're going to work a lot more on comparisons, too, in person. But somewhere behind us, a train whistle blew long and low, like a sad, sad song. Again, a little bit of an exaggeration there, just to get any reader really interested in that moment. So I found that super powerful, and how that was the last thing on the page. So today we're going to be working on really the rest of her writing to see what she did and why it was so powerful. So I'd like us to take a look right before the owl arrives in the book, because this whole story is about going out owling, right? So if they find the owl, that's really the big thing that happens in the story. It's that climax. That's that big thing that we're hoping that happens. So let's see. This is page 1. Page 2 tells us more about the setting and that they're walking out. Here we see the long shadow that the father makes, the shorter one that she makes. And we're starting to learn more about what owling is all about, how you have to be quiet. And then finally, Pa starts calling out, hoo 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 hoo, trying to get the attention of a great horned owl. But remember what happens? Does the owl come out right away? No. She stretched out this moment, really stretched it, because the big thing doesn't happen here, not yet, but is super powerful because it makes us wonder now. You wonder what is going to happen next. Is she going to see that owl? Or are they going to have to go to a different spot? And they are hoping things turn out a certain way. Forgot that word. And they are hoping things turn out a certain way, right? And that's what we are hoping too. We want them to find the owl, right? That's the whole point of the story. But let's look and see how long it takes. And nothing, right? Kind of some disappointment on this page because they didn't quite hear or see an owl yet. But don't worry. They keep working. Jane Yolen keeps walking us through this moment because that big thing still has not happened. Remember, they got to this big clearing where the snow below it was whiter than the milk in a cereal bowl. Another great comparison there, right? Talking more about the setting. And then all of a sudden, he calls out again at a different spot. And finally, they hear something coming through the trees. And we're hoping it's that great horned owl. And then after that, we finally get to see and hear it on this page and on this page. But didn't that take a while? Jane Yolen didn't just tell us right in the beginning of her story that they found the owl. They waited until towards the very end. So for a comparison to your writing, that big thing doesn't happen until the 3rd or the 4th page. So how did she do this? How? Well, she uses action, such as the hoo 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 hoo, and the images that show a character hopes for something to happen. She also does this by stretching out the story, and that big thing happens later on. So for you today, I want you to look at your writing. Does that big thing happen towards the 3rd or the 4th page? Make sure it's happening right about then, just so that your story's climax doesn't happen too soon. If it happens too soon, do you think readers are going to want to read it? No, they might get bored. So let's think about ways that we can really stretch it out and make our stories very interesting all the way throughout. So make sure that climax is happening towards the end of our stories. All right. So make sure that climax is happening towards the end. We're stretching out our moments and we're trying to create wonder, right? So be thinking on the first, second, and even maybe the third page. How are you going to make your reader stay and be very, interested in your story? You can do exactly what Jane did, something similar to it. Remember, Dad calls out the first time for the great horned owl, but it doesn't happen. You can do something similar in your story as well. All right. Good luck today, second grade. I cannot wait to see the climaxes in your stories. And let's make sure that they're happening towards the end and that we're creating lots of wonder and that we're hoping things turn out a certain way. All right. Keep up the good work, second grade. You got this.